first thing you'll learn when people speak about Ahmed is his passion for gourmet food and wine. The owner of a few wineries and former owner of several restaurants and cafes in Pennsylvania, he truly loves good wine and adores all things culinary. Ahmed fell in love with wine from a very young age in Tunisia, where he was born and raised, and where there is a long history of wine dating back to Carthage antiquity. In his early 20s, he moved to the beautiful city of Vienna to live and study, an area known for its Wachau wine region along the Danube River. After 5 years there, he decided to move to the United States. Before arriving in America, he didn't know much about American wine culture. His first experience with California wines came through his closest friend, Kevin. This was the turning point for him. He fell in love with American wines and subsequently became a passionate American wine enthusiast. He started buying, tasting, learning, joining wine clubs, and collecting American wines. Through tasting and exploring varietals, winemaking techniques, and terroirs, his desire intensified to create his own wine. He opened his first winery in Pennsylvania at his 1800s estate in the Brandywine Valley Historic District. After a few very difficult and challenging years for the restaurant industry due to COVID-19, Ahmed decided to focus on the California wine industry and became more involved in viticulture and winemaking. During this time, his passion for wine grew even stronger. Though his restaurants overcame the difficulties of COVID-19, Ahmed knew in his heart that his love of wine must be his primary focus. For him, the wine industry is not just a business, but a way of life and a vehicle to share his passion. For years, Ahmed has been trying to break into the wine industry circle in the Napa and Sonoma valleys, and it has not been easy. Through California friends, partners, and mentors, Ahmed has explored opportunities to start several wine businesses and ventures, learning along the way. This was the starting point for Ahmed, and he has now established his own Red Brick Winery and tasting room in Napa. Harvest for winemakers typically starts in mid-August. But for Ahmed, it starts in June when he heads to California specifically to source grapes from America's very best wine valleys. Starting in Napa, Sonoma, Lodi, and Mendocino counties, he's able to pick and choose the best fruits before anyone else has a chance. By August, he has normally secured the premium grapes required for the new vintage. In the meantime, his Napa team and winemaker are preparing to receive the grapes to crush and ferment. Receiving the grapes at the winery for crushing is like Christmas. Everyone's excited, happy, and celebrating a new wine vintage. Amazing how wine and food brings so much happiness and excitement to people. While waiting for September harvest, the previous vintage is bottled, and that's another fiesta. But before we get to bottling, there's a whole other task that Ahmed completes. He personally checks and tastes all of our wine in barrels and tanks at the winery, assorts the flavors, selects the single grape wines, and blends some of his favorites. By the way, Ahmed loves blending wines. After all that is done, the wine is filtered and the proper glass bottle is selected for each. Finally, all of our new wines are put asleep in barrels and tanks and checked on regularly to ensure they are maturing properly and becoming wines worthy of representing Red Brick Winery, as per Ahmed's expectations. All of the hard work and long process culminates with each bottle of wine expressing its own distinct taste and complexity. To thank all of the wonderful people who supported him in becoming part of the California wine community and culture, Ahmed chose the name Red Brick to represent everyone's efforts in helping him step by step, brick by brick, to build his wine dream.